All right, hey everyone, welcome back to the King. This is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. Just finished recording. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. Just finished recording this week's Shonen Jump reaction review stuff. So we're going to dive into the read-throughs once again this week. So the current plan right now is we'll cover the next chunk of Vinland Saga. I'll try to get through the rest of this volume today if we can. If not, I'll try to cover at least the next third of it or so. But apart from that, we'll also get around to the next volume of Bride's Story as well. And then next week, we'll get around back to Berserk again with regards to read-throughs. So once I catch up with one of these current series, then I'll kind of rotate in something else new. But that probably won't happen until close to Christmas, depending on how it goes. But in the meantime, still a lot of good stuff coming your way. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Without further ado, let us dive into it with Vinland Saga Volume 1. Or I guess the Deluxe Volume 1. So we pick off with Chapter 4, Unbreakable Chains. So we see Halfdan and his little goonies as they walked into the harbor. And you have his Halfdan and his henchmen, over 30 marching into town. They landed without permission, going on about a slave or some nonsense. Leif's out there trying to smooth things over, but it looks as though the younger men might butt heads at any moment. We need you now, Thors. And you see Ylva just like clutching her head with the headache that this situation's become. And the wife's like, Thors, he stopped breathing. It's like, strike him, shout to get his attention. And the guy's like, who's that? I don't think I've seen him, but... And Ylva's like, well, this just happens to be a distant relative, see? He came to visit us all the way from Reykjavik, but with the recent chill, he unfortunately got sick. Go on, you don't want to catch what he's got trying to shove him out. He's like, oh? He's like, hang on. Like, such a shame, really. He's been bedridden since he arrived. I'll have to give you a proper introduction when he's better. And Thors is like, I'm coming in a moment. Urge everyone to keep level heads. And you see with a jangle as Halfdan just like lets this chain he's been coiling loose. And he starts flinging it like a little circle. He goes, chains are the only neckwear that truly suits a human being. Not gold, not silver, cold iron chains. Only a chain of hard iron around the neck can turn a man into something better. We ought to pay our respects to this most sublime of inventions. Do you not agree? One of my slaves cut his chains and escaped last night. Do you have any ideas? He's like, he's a young Slavic man with an iron ring around his neck. There was a blizzard last night. It's quite possible that he came to this village to find shelter. We must investigate. One of the kids is like pointing his sword and goes, keep your flimsy excuses, Halfdan. This is just your chance to settle our old score, isn't it? It's like, what's the story here? And Leif asks someone's like, what's the story here? So we've had several squabbles over the boundaries of grazing land between our village and his. They like to barge onto our territory and harvest our grass for their winter flock. People on both sides were getting hurt, so we just had to settle at the last thing. And you have a thing is a Viking assembly. It's like, you boy, I recognize your face. I lost my left arm in a fight with you. It was taken clean off with a scythe. How do we settle this then? He's like, I remember your face too. It belongs to the man who cut off my brother's leg. And Leif's like, knock it off, Ari. It's like, that should have been addressed at the thing. It's like, don't try to stop me, Leif. It's like, is that reparation meant to help my brother walk again? It's not over until I've taken a leg of his in return. It's like, that's more like it. We'll settle this with swords. The laws and the things are dog shit. And you see with a shake and a tug as Halfdan throws out his chain whip. Grabs it, wraps it around the guy's sword and flings out, disarms him with it. He's like, Halfdan. He's like, I will chain you. He's like, what? Fuck. And he whips the chains around the guy's face. And he rips it off brutally. This guy's screaming. This guy will not tolerate insults to the law. The law is a chain. Only when he is chained does a savage become a man. Do not forget this. And you can see like little bits of hair and flesh still stuck in the chains. As there's like a dead silence has fallen. It's like, a slave of mine cut his chains and escaped. Do you have any ideas? The next one you see the escaped slave guy is just like imagining himself standing in this nice little field. As he's like, where am I? I thought I was in Iceland. He's like, I've never been so at peace. And you see Thor's going, hang in there. Hey, look at me. Can you hear me? Don't leave us. Wake up or you will die. And his wife's like, Thors, I think he's... And the guy's like, Dad? He's like, Mom, sister, You're all here? I was so worried. After we were sold off, I thought you'd be dead. But where is this? Why am I here? And Thor just goes, can you hear me? Far to the west, across the sea, there's a place called Vinland. It is warm and fertile, far from slavery and the fires of war. No one can reach you there. So what do you say? Will you live there with us? And you see a baby Thorfinn just being like, Vinland? He's like, I see. So this is Vinland. You see with a boom as Halfdan and his men walk in. He goes, there you are. Forgive my intrusion, Thors. I'm only here to retrieve my slave. You have, I am its rightful owner. I will have it back. And his mother's trying to rush him out. Come, Thorfinn. He's like, Father. And Ylva's like, Halfdan, please listen. We weren't hiding him from you. As I tried to explain to you earlier, my father was considerately saving your slave and nursing him back to health. Yes. Right, dear father? So let's give the man back his property. Wasn't that nice of him to come back in person to reclaim what's his? And Thor's like, Halfdan, how much did you pay for him? And he's silent before he goes, 2 sheep, young ewes. It's like, why, father, don't you think that's a little rude? Oh, you men. He's like, I'll give you 3 to buy him from you. She's like, eh? He's like, father, I know I said I wanted a slave, but I was thinking of one a bit more lively. It's like, well, Halfdan, this guy, I'm taking him back with me. He'll be tortured before the other slaves. He must serve as a warning. And Thor's like, 4 sheep. He's like, 4? He's like, did you not hear what Halfdan just said, Thor? He's like, silence. And Halfdan just stands there measuring him, and he goes, if I ask for twice that, you'll have it. All ewes under 3 years. His men are just like muttering amongst themselves, like, are you serious? It's like, 8 sheep for a half-dead slave. It's good, too good a price to refuse. I'll choose the sheep myself. And he was like, you're kidding. The deal's done? He goes, Thors, do you believe you have cut his chains? I was like, with those chains cut, where will you take him? It's like, your silence is all the answer I need. And you see Thorfinn just watching this from the back. You see later as Thor just buries him and they put a little gravestone on it. And he's like, Ylva, are you sad? He's like, of course I'm sad. We gave up 8 healthy sheep for a slave who died before the day was done. What is wrong with this situation? What am I doing here placing a burial stone? He's like screaming and wailing, going, stupid, clueless, eccentric father. This is terrible. Learn how to haggle. And Thorfinn's like, Father, did we come here to escape too? Mr. Leaf says our ancestors came here from the east, that we came to Iceland to escape. It's like, yes, that's what is said. It's like, then, if someone wants to escape from here, where do they go? And you see as Thor's looking a little despondent as he doesn't have an answer for that. As we get to chapter 5, and you see November 13th, 1002 AD. It was a Saturday, the day the Vikings customarily bathed, and the English were well aware of this cultural practice. And you see a bunch of village guys just joshing, playing with each other as they're bathing. And you see one of them getting speared as a bunch of invaders swimming from the river. And you have enemy attack! And you have Northern England, Earldom of Northumbria, Viking settlement. And you see a bunch of men, and you see like a room full of women just like as soldiers are bursting in, setting everything on fire. Jeff, burn it all down! No mercy for women or children. His Majesty has ordered that all of them to be put to the sword. And you see later as the kids back in Thor's village are all playing pretend with like fake swords and spears and things. With the, yeah, slash! He's like, yeah! Oh, you got me! I'm dying! I'll get you next time! He's like, alright, I killed Snorri! He's like, you're dead, you can't move! He's like, how many on our side? He's like, take that! And he's like, spear unit, up front, charge! As you see the kids all just playing together. And you see poor Thorfinn knocked out going, oh man, the battle went that way. My back's freezing. How come I always die right at the beginning? It's like, dead bodies aren't allowed to talk, Thorfinn. It's like, you're always the first one to die, Foxy. It's like, well, the Valkyries come if you die on the field of battle. Then I can go to Valhalla and feast on meat every day. It's like, oh, I get it now. You'd like that, wouldn't you? But you can't just die right away. They only let powerful warriors into Valhalla. It's like, oh, so cold. It's like, I see. And Thorfinn's like, does that mean my mother and sister can't go to Valhalla? It's like, Bwahaha! Defeated in battle, Thorfinn? Careful not to die in the snow or you'll get sick. It's like, Mr. Leaf. It's like, that's me. As you see, they're unloading, or they're loading cargo onto his boat. He's like, what? You're leaving tomorrow? Lucky, lucky. Where are you going this time? It's like, to Norway. It's not a game, Thorfinn. We're going trading. These rugs and furs can be exchanged for wine and such things. He's like, then I'm going with you. It's like, no, you're most certainly not. Who made you boss? It's like, pooh, you're no fun. Well, I hope you run into icebergs in midwinter then. It's like, we need wine before the end of the year. Back in Greenland, we must celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ with it. Honor be his name, and he does like the whole thing. It's like, Father likes mead more than wine. Why don't you ask him for some? It's like, no, there's meaning in it being wine. I was hoping I could find some in this village, but it seems that I must cross the North Sea for it. And then he spots something and goes, Thorfinn, run and give your father a message. A warship is coming. And you see with the hut, as you see Thor's just working away in the blacksmith shop, I guess. He's like covered in like all these old scars. He's like, how's that, boss? That nasty hole should be patched for good. Like, put some water in there. You see the water just dripping out of the bowl. It's like, this smithing is tricky work. So you're putting too much strength into it, Thor's. Your father! It's come right here, Thorfinn. He's like, oh, there. It's like, it's another warship. A really huge one. Bigger than Halfdan's. And you see a bunch of like trained Viking warriors just standing at attention as they dock. And they demanded Thor's the troll and haven't spoken another word. When I get it. They have the eye symbol on both their axe heads and the shield. This is supposed to be the eye of Odin. I get it. That's a good little detail. So when they say Thor's, do they mean our Thor's? A troll? So that's not your ordinary raiding band. They're a far cry from Halfdan's gang of ruffians. And you're, Thor's, what should we do? What if they attack the... And Thor just booms out, Warriors of Yom, I am right here. And you see as they all kind of like reverse their swords and stomp to attention again. And the lead man takes off his helmet and then bows to him. He's like, whoa, they bowed to Thor's. This guy never thought you'd follow me all the way to Iceland, Floki. This guy, I haven't seen you since that Norwegian expedition, Thor's. It's hard to imagine a man like you hiding at the ends of the earth here. It's like, state your business, Floki. So in that case, first permission to disembark. And you see back in his hut, you have, now this makes me mighty curious. Who is Thor's anyway? I always heard he'd seen his fair share of battles in his youth. He must have been quite the hero. It's like, quiet down, Ari. He's never been one to talk about himself after all. He's like, hey, I want to see. He said something about Warriors of Yom. Anyone know what that is? It's like, not me. And baby Thorfinn's like, is father angry about something? And Floki goes, from the survivor's testimony, it seems this was a surprise attack carried out during bathing time. Countless Danes in the Danelaw have been murdered by the English. Furthermore, it said that among the slaughter was Princess Gunhilda, sister to King Sweyn of Denmark. And now the king has a perfect pretext, avenging the death of his sister. A great war is brewing, Thor's. This is where we come in. It's like, war? It's like, shh. We Yom's Vikings will be joining the Danish side. The entire fleet is amassing as we speak. An invasion of England will be underway by the coming spring. It's like, do as you wish. This is a tiny village in Iceland far north of the civilized world. The matters of great kingdoms across the sea are none of our concern. See, that's not quite true, I'm afraid. Chief Sigvaldi has ordered all forces to return to Jomsburg for further instructions. No man is accepted. None. Whether he be active or deserter. And Yilv was like, deserter? Oh, sorry, give me a second here. It was like, Thor's the troll, Yom's Viking captain. Your participation is required in this coming battle. And you see Thor just looking deadly serious. We have some extra note stuff. That's not really relevant. We have an afterword with, we don't really know the full etymology of the name Viking. It's said the base of the word is Vik, which means inlet. They used inlets as natural ports, building villages within them, raising sheep and pigs, cultivating small amounts of land, fashioning tools, eating barley, herrings, whales, and seals, drinking beer, crying, laughing, and falling in love. Their piratical image tends to precede them, but I'd like to continue studying them and portraying them in various other ways. You have Chapter 6, Messenger from the Battlefield. And you see as Floki's waiting for his response, Thor's just calmly drinking some mead, I guess. And Floki's like, Thor's, I should be clear. The chief is making you a very merciful offer. Thor's the troll of Yom, powerful and renowned Yom's Viking captain, once thought missing in battle after a naval skirmish in the Norwegian Sea 15 years ago, makes his triumphant return to the fold today. This is the official story being offered to you. No further questions asked or required. This should make it quite clear how much Sigvaldi values your skill. And he's like, you did not need to bring a longship just to tell me that. You've unsettled the villagers. And he's like, you have changed. I never have imagined the old Thor saying that. Or perhaps it is this village that changed you. He just looks over at the eavesdroppers. He's like, crap. He's like, run for it! Run for your life! It's like, this is a good and peaceful place. The children speak to that on their own. No doubt war has never touched this village. And you see Thor's eye just twitching as Floki smirks. So, did you hear that? Brilliant! A real battle! I've never been in a battle before. He said we're going to invade England. It's like, where's England? Can you believe it? They sailed all the way across the sea just to recruit Thors. Your pa must be something special. And you see like Thorfinn just perking up at that. But do you really think they'll take us with them? It's like, well, not a weakling like you. Let's go big talk come from someone who's no better than me. I guess it'd only take hardened warriors. In that case, I'll pass the test. None of you ever cut a man down, have you? Well, that's what separates them. You see a thud as Ari bumps into one of the Yom's Vikings, who just looks down at him kind of like disdainfully. He's like, oops, sorry. And this is not a child's errand. If you refuse to participate in the coming battle, my mission will fail and the chief will lose face. I cannot afford to go home empty-handed after such an insult. You understand what I mean. And you see the Yom's Vikings just walking through the village and separating out. It leaves like the Yom's Vikings, a company of warriors based out of Jomsburg, a port far to the east in Wendland. So it turns out Thor's was once a Yom's Viking. Did you know about this, Thorfinn? And he's like, no. He's like, are they strong? It's like, very. So strong, in fact, the king of Wendland is unable to levy any taxes upon them. They pride themselves on being the mightiest men in the North Sea. And Floki's like, withdraw! All men back on the ship! Withdraw! And you see him just walking past. As one walks by, Ari goes, Ch! It's like, what was that? He sounds pissed. And Jeff, heed my words, villagers. I am Floki of the Yom's Vikings. I am charged with recruiting the hero Thor Snorreson into our band. And they're all just murmuring. He's like, hero? Thor's has graciously heeded our call and will be providing a longship of his own. Any who would dare may travel Jomsburg with Thor's. And you see as the ship disembarks, he goes, farewell, Thor's. May we meet again in battle. And you see it's war! As Ari and all the villagers like cheering and clapping. You see Thor's is the only one looking kind of despondent about this. It's like, how many decades has it been? It's like, don't tell me you're going, grandfather. It's like, I'm going to kill me some Englishmen. It's every man's calling to die on the field of battle. It's like, that settles it. We've got to prepare for the voyage tomorrow. And you see as Thor just kind of walks away, head down, and goes back to his house. And Leaf's like, couldn't you have simply said no, Thor's? It's like, I've involved the village in this madness. Years ago, I made a living by murder and death. But one day I no longer wanted any part of it. I was tired of killing, tired of death, so I ran away. I left the battlefield. I thought I'd successfully fake my death as far as they knew. It's like, couldn't you just do it again? It's like, if I run this time, the village will pay a bitter cost. The Yom's Vikings do not suffer deserters. Besides, where would I go? The time has come for me to face my past. You have, all right, get ready to pull. All set. And you see a bunch of logs being laid out as they're trying to pull the ship out of cold storage. You have, heave, ho! I see his Viking ship just being pulled out with bastards, heave, ho! He's like, Sir Leaf? Or no, Sir Leaf? Weren't you leaving today? It's like, Thor's asked for a change in plans. I'll be accompanying his warship on the trip. And Ari's like, yes, I see. That'll make for a safer journey. Yep. And if things get hairy, we'll be there to watch your back. It's like, much obliged. Wonderful to hear. You have, pull! Pull! It's like, what is it with these folks and their excitement for battle? And you see the little kid that was playing with Thorfinn earlier, trudging up slowly. It's like, Foxy? What's the matter? Aren't you playing with the others? And he's here, rah! As Thorfinn just like bonking this kid on the head. He's like, geez, Thorfinn's going crazy. Surround him. He's like, what? It hurts. And you see these kids just all brutally roughed up. It's like, you vile dog. As someone comes up from behind and spears him. He's like, I got him. I killed Thorfinn. And you see Thorfinn just smacking him with his sword. He's like, hey, you're supposed to be dead, Thorfinn. He just killed you fair and square. Boo! Follow the rules. And Thorfinn just looks unimpressed as he slaps the kid with his sword. He's like, well, what's wrong with him? He's like, yikes. Like, are you all right? It's like, don't walk away, Thorfinn. And you see Thorfinn just looking all serious, like wipes away his little blood from his nose. As you have chapter 7. Might actually be able to cover most of this volume today. And you have what Thor's going, now pull, raise mast. 1, 2, 3. As you see him like raising it up and like installing it into the ship. You have chapter 7 sword. You have the standing lines loose. It won't hold up the prow. Tighten it down. Joe, ahoy, Thors. Can you take a look at the boy and you see the poor kid just like grabbing onto his shoulder. It's like, what is it? Did you have a fight? It's like, the kids are just playing war like always. But he's in a lot of pain. I think it might be the bone. Ooh, when you see the next page is Thor is just feeling now. It's like, ah! It's like, yep, it's broken. It's too rough for child's play. It's like, well, I've wrapped him up good. Keep it on a splint for a month or so. It's like, thanks, Thors. You're the best person to turn to for this sort of thing. And one of the other kids like, Thorfinn did it. He's no fun to play with. He won't follow the rules and he won't go easy on anyone. We're not going to let him play with us anymore. And Thor's like, is this true? Was it my son? And the kid just nods. He's like, my apologies. I'll scold him well. He's like, what's the harm? It's just kids being kids. Impressive though, eh? Still 6 years, isn't he? He's already incapacitating kids nearly twice his age. Can't wait to see how he turns out. That boy's a born warrior. That's your blood, it is. Oh, God. You see Thor just looking down at the kid who's like crying because like his shoulder's hurting from the dislocated bone, or broken bone, I guess. Yeah, woohoo! Why, just look at me. This stuff's heavy. And it's really all mine, Pa? And you see a bunch of the kids just getting like outfitted with old armor and like swords and stuff. It's like, it's a family treasure passed down from your grandpa. Tomorrow's your first raid and go and fight to your heart's content. It's like, you look just like me at your age. Just the part. It's like, oh, looking good, Ari. He's like, check out mine. It's like, my family had a poleaxe to use. This old girl once lopped the head off a horse in one slice. It's like, that thing's huge. It's like, if you want to get the job done right, you need a spear. Nice long range to it. It's like, says you. Shall we fight and see? And you see Thorn just looking down like disgust at his fake wooden sword and shield. And then with a clank, he just throws it away. It's like, oh, honestly, what are you doing? Don't just leave your things all over the place. Hey, are you listening to me, Thorfinn? If you don't clean up your toys, I'll throw this one out. You want that? It's like, go ahead. I don't need it anymore. He's just rifling through an old chest with a clunk and a clunk as he's throwing stuff out. It's like, why are you turning the storeroom inside out? It's like, where's our weapons? It's like, huh? Weapons? It's like, I need a weapon. If I get one... It's like, let me guess. You're thinking, yippee! I'm going to be a warrior and ride on Father's ship. Don't waste your time. You're just a little boy. No amount of pleading or showing off is going to change the facts. And Doran moves his wicker basket out of the way and sees like a little more ornate chest. And inside it, he sees all of Thor's old Viking armor. And his like eyes just light up as he sees it. And he picks up the small little short sword I think he's been using now. And as he pulls it out, he's like, it's pretty. And he, oh God, man, you see the next page with this muscled hand just coming out and grabbing the sword. Jeff, as Thor is just looking at him furious. And Ylva's like, I didn't see anything. He's like, what is it, Ylva? It's like, do you want a sword, Thorfinn? A sword is a tool for killing. Who are you going to kill with this sword? And he's like, enemies. It's like, and who is your enemy? He's like, Halfdan, maybe. It's like, listen to me, Thorfinn. You have no enemies. No one has any enemies. There is no one that you should hurt. And you see the mother is watching this with, that doesn't make sense. You're going off to battle tomorrow. You're going to kill enemies. Don't treat me like a child. Even I can tell when you're lying to me. And you see Thor's looking a little sorrowful at this. He's like, Thorfinn, as Thorfinn runs out. And he sees the young guys outside just like joshing with each other while all their armor sets. Like, eat that! It's like, hey, I'm bleeding! It's like, watch out, you fools! And you see Thor just grip the knife so tightly that he's like, it's cut himself, his blood is dripping. He's like, Helga. It's like, I know. It's like, raise our son well. You see Thorfinn just staring up with like angrily at the masthead of the ship. So yeah, the day's clear. Slight breeze from west, northwest, gentle waves. Odin is in a fine mood this morning. Perfect day to set sail. And Thor is like, yes. As you have chapter 8, the journey begins. It's like, the time has come for Ari, son of Gaetir, to stand up and be a man. No, Ylva, I know, don't say it. It will not be an easy voyage. There's no guarantee that even a warrior of my stature will come home unharmed. But return I will, and I will bring you a beautiful necklace plundered from England. And Ylva's just like blearily, he's like, can I go back to sleep now? And it's like, and when I do, will you, marry? And you have Ari! It's like, I packed you a lunch, you nearly forgot it. When are you going to get your mind straight, you silly boy? There's plenty of salted herrings, so share with the others. And don't forget to eat your onions. He's like, okay, Ma, sheesh, now get out of here. He's like, how can you speak to your own mother that way? He's like, we'll continue this conversation when I get back. Promise you'll wait for me, Ylva. He's like, oh, right, they leave today. Well, I hope he doesn't get himself killed. Yeah, Ylva, do you have a minute? I'd like to talk. He's like, hang on, I'm first. He's like, could you try someone else? She's like, I swear, am I the only young woman in town you see? Hey, Ylva! So a bunch of men are trying to line up to be her suitors. Jeff, make sure you get enough to eat. And remember to bathe yourself on Saturday, my son. It's like, I know, Mama, I know. It's got my grandfather's axe, I swear. I'll bring home a giant barrel full of gold coins. It's like, look at our boys, ready for battle. It's like, I don't know. Only 5? It's not much of a force. It's like, well, Thor said 5 was best. He would know, so if he says so. But it's barely enough men to move a ship. True, but who are we to question him? He's like, hey, Ari, the hell were you talking about with Ylva? Like, shove it, loser. You keep your stinking meat hooks off her, Mord. It's like, better watch your back in battle, Ari. It's like, you'd be wise to do the same, Mord. It's like, Ari! It's like, what? It's like, be careful out there. As you see one of the other girls telling him that, and he's like, sure. It's like, I'll cut off your ugly head. It's like, I'd like to see you try. And Leaf sneaks up from behind and goes, young miss. Like, eek! Worried about Ari? I'll let you in on a little secret. It's like, huh? And he whispers, and he's like, what? They're not going to battle? He's like, shh, keep it a secret. We'll swing by Norway on the way to Jomsburg. Thors is planning to leave the youngsters behind when we land. While in Norway, Thors will hire a new crew from the king to help him travel to Jomsburg. I was friends with the last kings who will help us. And then, once I've concluded my business, I'll bring back the lads with me. And she's like looking all happy. He's like, besides, how can you have a battle with only 5 men? 5 just happens to be the maximum number I can ferry back to Iceland in my little ship. Thors won't take a single one of them to England. That's just the kind of man he is. You have Thorfinn! Where are you, son? Thorfinn! And you have Mr. Leaf. Does that mean Thors is going into battle alone? And you see a man-oars! You have all the kids on one side, and Thor's this gigantic-ass paddle on the other. It's like, I don't believe this. Thorfinn! How can he miss seeing his own father off? It's like, he must still be sulking over that scolding he got yesterday. And he's like, Helga's like, yes? Tell Thorfinn that, well, it's like, I know. I'll tell him. It's like, good. Thanks. You have row! As Leaf starts drumming, and you have a, and a whoa! This is like this giant splash as Thor pulls his oars. Like, what preposterous strength! Like, don't just sit there, fool! Row, row, row! And you see them all just rowing. He's like, good luck, bring me something nice. As they're all waving goodbye. You have hoist sail. You have all the youngsters just like wheezing and like throwing up. It's like, take the rudder from me, Ari. Mord, Magni, and just the sail. Hakon and Grim, the crossbeams. He's like, my hands are torn to shreds. Like, my arse. It's like, come on your feet. It's like, what, are you tired? He's like, no, not at all. It's like, don't worry, we won't need to row for a while. We've reached the current, so the ship will travel on its own for now. It's like, does that mean we can't go back, Father? It's like, I suppose it does. It's like, Father! And he said, Pwah! As Thorfinn bursts out of one of the barrels on the ship. It's like, Thorfinn! What in the world? It's like, just a second! As he runs to the edge of the ship and he starts whizzing into the sea. He's like, whew, just in time. And it's just, I love this image. And he just shivers. He's like, why, you little imp? He's like, Father! He's like, it's the sea! He's like, also excited like a little kid. He's like, oh boy. So you have chapter 9, A Trap in Distant Seas. And you have North Atlantic Ocean, Faroe Islands, Stramoy. And you see this bald, or monk with a tonsure, I guess, as he's being used for target practice. So you all heard him say, if I can hit his head throwing left-handed, that entire barrel's mine. It's like, if you want a drink, it'll cost gold. It's like, shut up. Let's see you hit him first. He's like, oh Lord. It's like, now you lousy Christian, dodge it, I'll kill you. And he's like, hurrah! As he sends the axe flying, and the guy just ducks and it just skims right over his head. He's like, hey, you ducked, you bastard, you're dead now. It's like, move, I'm next. It's like, miss, damn you, me next, me next. It's like, prepare to meet your maker, monk. It's like, oh no, poor friar. It's like, I told you not to duck, ha ha ha. That weren't his fault, you're just terrible. Jeff, hey, you young fellows. Ah, so close. So why not take a break and share a drink with us? You see all the Yams Vikings just standing there seriously at attention. It's like, so stiff those polearms must be stuck up their arses. Forget them, they're too good to drink our swill. Step aside, it's time for the master to show you how it's done. Jeff, now how many points for a leg? And Floki's like, your men are boorish as ever, Askeladd. It's like, they just don't care for the Christians, Master Floki. Let's talk business, shall we? My men and I are tired of being cooped up in this backwater. It's like, the broad details have not changed. Your pay will be 100 gold coins. No payment unless you produce his dead body. His ship and cargo are yours to do with as you please. Just kill Thors. The Thors, eh? I've heard tell of this troll of Yom. And you really want us to kill him? It's like, I thought he was a big hero to you folks. It's not the hero part that has doomed him to death. He has fragrantly flouted the precepts of our band. He deserted in the face of the enemy. And he was sentenced to death over 15 years ago. And as Askeladd empties out the rest of his drink, he's like, damn, empty. I knew you folks are picky about your laws and all, but 15 years? My goodness. He's like, whoa, I mean, hey, if you're going to pay us, sure, yeah, we'll take on the job. The only thing is, usually when a group sentences one of their own to, death, they carry out the execution. You went to Iceland to find him, didn't you? Why didn't you just gut him on the spot? It's like, it's no business of yours or your filthy vagabonds. Now it says, like, well, he's dead now. It's like, I suggest you avoid asking stupid questions for your own sake. It's like, ooh, scary. Very well. Another 100 coins up front, then we'll do your dirty work. It's like, you grow bold, vagabond. Didn't think you were powerful enough to test my patience this way. He's like, shall we find out? I love this look of just Askeladd leaning back, all nonchalant, as Loki staring him down. And with the glare, you see a boom as a spear comes smashing in through the doorway. Like, oops, sorry about that, boss. Like, learn how to throw. You've had one too many, Bjorn. Slip clean out of my hand. Anyone hurt in there? And Askeladd's like, hey, be careful out there. It's like, sorry. It's like, you scamps almost hit me. And Askeladd's like, so, as I was saying, an extra 100 gold up front. And Floki's like, very well. It's like, you're a man among men. See you later. It's like, forgot to ask. What kind of warrior is this Thors anyhow? Identifying features, fighting style? And Floki's like, the man named Thors is no longer a warrior. And so with the slosh as Askeladd goes and kicks out the wine barrel and goes, that's enough drinking, lads. It's time for us to work. It's like, nice spear work, Bjorn. It's like, piece of cake. It's like, by the look on Floki's face. Wish I could have seen it. And you see that one of his Yams Vikings was hanging there, presumably as ambush, and the spear went right through him. It's like, so they're more than just talk. So there's something off about this job if you ask me. So what's that? It's Floki. He's hiding too much. He was lying when he said Thors had been ordered dead. That much is certain. It's an assassination. Whether out of spite or something else, I don't know. But I make this as Floki's own scheme. He's like, what's your point, Askeladd? We kill him, we get paid. What's the difference? Why do you suppose he doesn't have his own men do the dirty work? Because he doesn't want to soil his own hands defying official orders? That too, possibly. But I wonder if he was more afraid of potential losses. So many, in fact, that he could not hide his miserable failure from the chief. It's like an entire team of Yams Vikings against one ex-warrior? You're joking. It's like, it really makes me want to see the guy. He's like, hey, get down here, you mischievous runt, as Thorfinn's trying to climb up the mast. And you see that Thor is just spanking him. It's like, the troll of Yom. I sure hope he's worth all the trouble. So I'll probably cut it off there because I think we only have 16 chapters in this. I'll probably cover this in the next read through all the way. We're getting into like the good stuff with the next arc stuff. So probably a good cutting off point as well. So quick thoughts on this chapter. Again, I do like how the way Yukimura-san is differentiating Thor's from kind of like the cultural norms and societal expectations at that point is with how he treats the escaped slave that ran away from Halfdan's farm. And it really is kind of like a good glimpse into like what his moral character and stuff is without like overly like trying to spell it out too much for you. We have Halfdan as kind of like the pragmatist who's like, oh, the law is always fair, the law is just, you have to buy in the law. And it's like, oh, kind of gives like this whole philosophical speech about like, oh, chains reveal the truth of man, blah, 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 blah. And you have Thor who's like, when Halfdan comes to take him away, he's like negotiating for him. He's like, I'm not going to let you take this man back just to torture him to set an example. I'm going to make sure if he is going to pass away, he's going to pass away in dignity. And he's willing to give away, all these sheep because like, all of this, like, all everything I've worked so hard for doesn't mean anything in respect to, the dignity of this man's life is worth more than a few sheep to me. So I think that's a really good way to like contrast and show you exactly what separates Thor from like all the other people like warriors and things from around this time, or like men of his standing in this time. So as scenes like that go, I do really appreciate that. Where you can kind of see like his empathy and sympathy for like his fellow man kind of like leaking through with his actions. Apart from that, again, I love the contrast, the great panel where you have all these warriors when they're here like, oh, it's going to be battle. And they're all like celebrating and cheering. And Thor's is the only one standing there with his head down, kind of looking despondent because he knows exactly what horrors that's going to entail. Like, because everyone else has been brought up on these tales of like all the glory and like the rewards they'll reap in battle and, like all the riches and stuff that they get from it. But again, it's kind of like the whole like lottery system. Like, all right, one or two people might come out of battle unharmed, unscarred, with like riches to set themselves up comfortably for life. But those really are the exceptions, and most people will just come out of it scarred, maimed, and they will be like PTSD scarred for the rest of their lives. And they're going to have to deal with like the guilt and regret of everything that they did during that entire time. And Thor's is the only one that kind of understands that because he's been knee deep in it compared to anyone else who's only heard like the grand stories, like all the romanticized ideals of it. So I do really like the comparing and the contrast between like the artwork and all those kinds of scenes that you see in this chapter. Apart from that, I'm trying to see what else stood out to me. Sorry, just give me a second here. But yeah, you also see like that change in attitude with Thorfinn as well, where he's kind of gone from like, playing pretend with the other kids and being like, this is not a real warriors. Like, I have to be more serious. Like, I want other people to take me seriously. So I did like that. The one scene, like, this will be something I will probably talk about more towards the ending, I guess, once we cover the entire series. But Thor's this whole line about like, this idea of you have no enemies, there's no one you need to hurt. I like that as like this highly romanticized idea, like in a perfect world, like yes, you would not have any enemies, there would be no one that you need to hurt or defend yourself against. But I think the thing between that is contrasting like, violence done upon someone versus violence done to defend yourself. And I don't remember how much the series kind of really digs into those two different ideas of like violence for used to like conquer and dominate versus violence used to like defend and protect yourselves. But I guess that once we get deeper into the series, maybe we'll do like a bigger breakdown analysis of that kind of stuff with regards to the idealization of pacifism that the series kind of goes into. But yeah, this is a really good chunk of story. Like I like the flashback we get. I like kind of the silent storytelling of like, the Yalms like can kind of just slowly spreading out to the village until Floki tells him like disperse, because it insinuates enough that Yukimura-san didn't have to come out and spell it out for you, but you kind of insinuate enough that you knew exactly what was going on in there. So yeah, really solid volume. Looking forward to covering the last chunk of it which kind of sets up the current kind of story stuff. So you're looking forward to that. So if you all enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned, Bride Story and Stone Jump stuff will be out today. Until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.